I thought Labrador was the really big one, but I think this is the really big one. I'll be going to Alaska, then Santa Fe, and back to New York. I'm ready to go. So here I go. See you later.
I'm back home now. In fact, I've been back home for a few months. And as with most of these trips, I try to end them at the lake where we spend weekends. As you can see behind me, it's been a few months. The fall colors are starting to show. And I've had some time to reflect on the trip. And I'd like to share some of my thoughts with you about that. I must tell you, it was invigorating. It was much more than I ever thought it would be. The weeks leading up to the ride, I had some angst about it, what was involved, what the roads in Alaska are really going to be like, what the conditions are going to be so adverse that it took the joy out of it. But I must say that within several hours of getting started, being on the road, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And as the days went on and I got more into the, let's say, the more exciting part of the trip, it was a miraculous change of mood. And it stayed with me. I've been reinvented, if you will, as a result of this 10,500 mile ride across the continent into Canada, up through Alaska, and so forth. And so I thought that I would leave you with some of the things that have occurred to me, some of the thoughts I've had since that ride, and tell you about a little bit about what I wanted to do in the future. First thing is, I must say, it's a huge country, a huge continent. When you're on a two-wheel vehicle with nothing around you, and all you can see is sky and space that seems to stretch on forever, it's quite humbling and inspiring, I must add. And then you get to see and talk to and meet people from all walks of life and every part of the country and in Canada, and get an idea of what they're thinking and how the world events affect them or not affect them. I often thought along the ride that here are all these folks in Washington trying to ostensibly serve the public, and when you see how far detached they are from what's going on in this world at the local level, it's a wonder that we function at all. You could see that the economy is affecting large swaths of America. The roads in the east particularly, and I must say right up through going into Canada from North Dakota, there was not much traffic on the roads. And even in those places where major construction was going on, where the roads were being totally rebuilt, there was no slowdown from traffic. The rest stops and restaurants along the major highways were devoid of customers, I must say. And there were many trucks and trailers parked in the lots of these rest stops and truck stops, and the drivers were meandering through the parking lots and so forth, talking to each other, looking to find some new face to talk to while they awaited a call for a load pickup. So that kind of made you think that the economy is faltering. And I even had the experience of going through Chicago on a rainy Monday morning at rush hour, right through the loop, and it took 15 or 20 minutes, and I was through. Where were all the commuters? Where were all the city workers? I don't know. And then later on, up through North Dakota, seeing miles and miles of tanker cars full of petroleum, just sitting there, being stored. For what reason? I guess you can assume many things, but it occurred to me that maybe that that crude is being kept off the market because it supports higher prices at the pump and for heating oil. I don't know that, but the thought that occurred to me. But all that was replaced as I got up into the Yukon, northern British Columbia and the Yukon Territory, and the spectacular scenery, the snow and ice covered mountains, the glaciers, the wildlife, how people live up there. They live up there almost in a world of their own without much regard to what's going on in the rest of the world. Many of them, at least partially, live off the land. They hunt, they fish to supplement their normal, or what we would call normal way of getting foodstuffs and so forth through stores and whatever. And they have this beautiful, beautiful backdrop upon which to reflect and travel through and enjoy. I had a chance to visit with some people that I haven't seen in a while, which was a great part of the trip. And of course, the family joined me in Anchorage for a week, and then Atlanta, and I was just Atlanta, excuse me, and then the family joined me in Santa Fe for my sister's 80th birthday. So overall, it was quite an experience. So I've been thinking about making another trip, and I think this time I'm going to focus my attention on Hudson Bay. Not many people go up there by vehicle, and not many people go up there at all under any circumstances, under any means of conveyance. So we're going to see what Hudson's Bay has to offer. I'm hoping to see some polar bears, and I'm going to do it on my new ride, which I picked up about a month ago, a Harley Switchback, and I have a picture of it here. You can take a look at it, and I'll put that on the website and begin blogging that when the time comes, and hopefully you and I will enjoy that ride as much as I did the one to Anchorage. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and catch me next time. Bye-bye.